We all had those friends growing up that only like peanut butter and jelly or mac and cheese, and there was only like a 2 or 3 food group friend. Don't be that type of gardener. This is Hot Takes from the Garden. This is Swiss chard. It's absolutely beautiful. It's incredibly delicious, but a lot of people about 8 years ago had never even heard about it. It was mostly consumed over in Europe, and it slowly made its way over into salad mixes and became really popularized by spring mixes in grocery stores only once it kind of hit critical mass and started to take hold. But about 8 to 10 years ago, this vegetable would have been a big question mark in a lot of people's gardens. And I liken Swiss chard to really a lot of different foods that are out there. I, growing up, had so many friends that were just very picky eaters. And there's nothing wrong with liking what you like. But I think at a certain point, it stifles us as gardeners to experiencing the amazing world that's out there by just sticking to, kind of like Buddy Elf would say, the 3 main food groups. You have candy, candy corn, and candy canes, and then 4th being syrup. And I think that in a lot of ways, we can actually set our garden back and the experience that we have with our garden by being picky. And that's not to say that if you don't like hot peppers, you have to grow jalapenos. That's not what I'm saying. And I know that this is a really serious conversation that actually comes up because I have several friends that they do market gardens and they take produce to a farmer's market. And one of their biggest grievances is that they themselves would love to grow more unique things, even down to heirloom tomatoes and the color of the tomatoes. Now, I know that you probably, having watched this channel, have a very fond love of heirloom tomatoes, but you'd be shocked that I was talking with one of my friends, one of my really good friends, Adam Stackpole, and he's actually got a business here in Michigan and Perry Permaculture. If you need pawpaws, go check him out. He's a really amazing guy to talk to. He does market gardens and he grows plants for his local greenhouse that he sells out of, but then he also will raise produce and take it to the farmer's market. And what he said is he said there's such a dramatic difference between his customers that come to the farmer's market and his customers that come to the greenhouse. He said people that know about these unique varieties, they will seek them out and they will buy them in droves. But if you take those same varieties, take them to the farmer's market, they simply will sit there and not move. And him and I, as we were grafting up a lot of our apple trees here at the farm, we talked about this and what causes this. And what we really kind of compared it to is there's a safety in normalcy. We as humans do not like change. We as humans become very conditioned to liking a certain thing and not wanting to experience anything outside of that. Think about your favorite restaurant. When you go to your favorite restaurant, how often do you order down the menu? How often do you roll a dice and say, or flip a coin, say heads or tails, it's gonna be this or that? You typically find your favorites and you stick to your favorites. And I can be the same way. But one of my biggest realizations was around my garden when I was saying, okay, well, I don't really want to grow a purple tomato. And this was first starting out. When I first started out gardening, like 16, 17 years ago, I was like, I don't know, I don't want to grow a yellow pear tomato. Like, it kind of seems kind of gross. I just want something for a nice BLT. I just want just a red slicing tomato. And I was so closed off. I'd never tried a yellow tomato. Just the simple thought of it being yellow was enough to just almost nauseate me. And I cannot tell you how disappointed I was once I tried the yellow pear tomato that I hadn't tried it sooner. And I think that's also such a common, it's a kind of a human condition that I've got kids, you might have kids, and we tell kids, I don't want to eat that. I don't like that. Have you ever tried it? No, I just don't like it. Well, how can you know you don't like it if you don't try it? And part of what I try to do on this channel is get you out of your comfort zone, get you to expand your horizons with things that might otherwise be a little bit foreign. One of my favorite kind of people that I kind of just kill time watching is this guy online, and he basically introduces his friends to Indian food. You might have seen his channel. He's on Facebook, he's on TikTok and Instagram, he's all over the place. But he says, I'm taking my basic friends to try authentic Indian food. And he basically takes these people that, they live on the most standard of generic, boring diet, right? Just meat and potatoes type diet. And there's nothing wrong with meat and potatoes, but I'm just saying that, like, that's their baseline of safety. They don't want to go outside of that. They're almost afraid to go outside of that. He takes them in to these Indian restaurants and gives them authentic Indian cuisine, and then interviews them after the fact and asks them how their experience was. And 90 to 95% of the time, the reaction is, wow, what have I been missing out on? And I can't tell you how often I see that in a garden. We will have so many people that will come to our greenhouse, or we'll look at their gardens, and all they have are one variety of tomato. It's the variety of tomato that their grandparents grew, that their parents grew, that they grew up on. There's safety. You can see a very safe garden. And again, nothing wrong with safety. I have lots of things that I like. I have lots of preferences. I love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, but I also have been able to go outside of my comfort zone, and I've been able to expand that to other food groups, right? I grew up in a very, just a very Midwest household that, we had spaghetti was as Italian as we got. We had the Chinese restaurant down the road, and that was as Chinese as the food ever got. We had Taco Tuesday, where we put black olives and shredded cheese and sour cream, ground beef on a white flour tortilla, and that was as Mexican as our food ever got. And I guess what I'm just trying to get to here is that if you apply that same level of safety to your garden, you are missing out on an absolute insane amount of biodiversity that tastes incredible, gives you lots of flavors you otherwise wouldn't experience, and you just have to give it a chance. And here's how you can give it a chance without ruining your whole garden. Here's how you can experience some of the amazing different varieties that exist out there without ruining your entire garden. And that's by going what I call the 10% rule. Anytime I am trying something new, anytime I am experimenting with something I've never done before, only do 10%. Then if you find out you like it, then you can expand from there. It is the equivalent of when we tell our son, say, okay, if you don't like it, you can spit it out, right? That is the same application to your garden. If you have never tried Swiss chard before, you don't even know how you'd use it, how it tastes, what are the applications? Is it good, bad? Who knows? You can try a small little area, 10%. 10% to the question marks. 10% to those, maybe I'll try it, maybe I'll get out of my comfort zone and give something a try. 10%. There's nothing wrong with having 90% of your garden be your safe zone. And that's what I would encourage. My challenge to you would be to have 90% of your garden be things that you love. Have your Roma tomatoes, have your big boy tomatoes, have your big beef, have your early girl tomatoes, have the standard tomatoes. Nothing wrong with that. They're standard for a reason. They taste great. There's nothing wrong with them. But there are over 8,000 other tomatoes that you could be trying. Different flavors, sizes, textures, acidity levels. Just so many amazing things that can come from just going outside of that safety net just a little bit. Kale, right? Kale, you might never have tried kale. Kale's kind of an interesting one. Brussels sprouts, I always heard Brussels sprouts were kind of bad, so I don't even know if I'm really gonna like Brussels sprouts. Most people just cook them wrong. Give them a try. Swiss chard, sure, it's a European vegetable that's come over here in the United States in the past 10 years. Absolutely, it doesn't make it bad, right? Buttered chicken was just popularized in the United States basically about 5 years ago. And now, everyone loves buttered chicken. It's just the influence of the melting pot of cultures and foods that they eat takes time. But you also have to have an open mindset to say, look, There's so many other things that I can grow, so many other varieties that I can add to my garden that I might not otherwise add, but I don't want to sacrifice my entire garden, so I'm only going to apply 10%. And that is a hot take from the garden. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you all learned something new. I really do hope that you'll try more varieties. One of the cool things about heirlooms is there are quite literally thousands and tens of thousands of different varieties out there of all these different vegetables. And there's something out there for everybody. That's what's super cool. And you don't have to like everything. I don't like everything. Ask me to go eat squid. I don't like squid, you know, just not my thing. You know, and be open to having your mind changed. I thought for a long time I didn't like mushrooms. I thought I hated mushrooms. It was until I tried mushrooms, and then I realized they were wonderful. And I didn't like mushrooms as a kid, but now I like them as an adult, right? So like tastes change, preferences change over time too. It's about having an open mindset and not locking yourself in to the status quo and to what you feel safe with, and getting outside the comfort zone a little bit. And it will open up an entire world of amazing colors, flavors, textures, and possibilities for your garden. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you all learned something new. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments box down below more gardening hot takes that you'd like me to take, and we'll talk about them. So, all right, as always, this is Luke from the MIgardener channel, reminding you to grow bigger. See ya. Bye. Hey, thank you so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed, consider clicking this one. You'll probably enjoy it just as much. I want to thank you for your viewership, because without it, this channel would not be as amazing as it is. Also, if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. It's free, and we upload videos every Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. We also have vegetable seeds, fertilizer, or tools. If you need any of those, consider visiting MIgardener.com. Links will be in the description box below. We've got you covered. And as always, we'll see you all in the garden. Take care.